Hey, Corey here. Just coming in to do a little bit of a reading for today. We are in the middle of the week. This is Wednesday. It was in the middle. Sorry, there's someone texting me. It's in the middle of the week, and we're coming into the full moon energy. And I'm not sure what they're going to have me do for the full moon. If channel will have me record something, or if I'll still be off. But you're not seeing me in lives. You're not seeing me in many places other than my recordings, because I am in a pause time. I'm in a space in between of spending time with myself and finishing up some of my most precious creations and my work that will be coming out in the future. I mean, my future depends on me putting the work into many of my projects, and to not just always be present in this part of the world. So there is a world outside of social media that needs much love and attention, and that's where I'm putting time. So that in between. So this is being recorded on what we call the hump day, and on the hump day is that space in between, that middle of the week of, you've already got a few days done, you're already complaining about the week being long and what else is there for the week, and you're only 2 days in. And if you think about it, really, in a 5-day week, you got 2 on this side and 2 on that day, and you got the day in between. So it's really not that long, but we can exist in such a big expansive week of complaining if we choose to, or we can go seek and search something to find. So I myself have found myself kind of like getting swallowed up a little bit here with all the smoke that's been coming through beautiful Sylvan Lake. And then I reminded myself that that's quite the ego trip, because it could be way worse, and the place where the smoke is coming from is in a way worse state than actually having to exist in smoke. And then I realized that it is a little bit of a trauma response, because I did live in Slave Lake during the Slave Lake fire. So it's a bit of this and a bit of that, and that's where we are right now in the middle of this week. And as we're coming into the Aquarius moon, is that we do have that explorer, how do we put this? So the explorer, the innovator, that kind of thing. So it's a good opportunity to start thinking about your life and starting to become the creator of a new story. And we are the creator of our own stories. We're the creators of the lives that we live in, and we're creator of the world that we sometimes are determined to exist within, even though it causes us much suffering and struggles, like unhealthy relationships. And so unhealthy relationships are a big one to really look at right now, whether it's one that you're in with yourself or one that you're in with the world, or with somebody within your world that you exist within. And it's time to explore this and go deeper into why and what is it that keeps you captivated by something that is so unhealthy. And but it also is a time to explore of what could be possible. If you think about having to go through the struggle of a change, or having to make changes in your life, is that even those struggles are temporary. And I am in a big shift and a change. We just moved to a new city. And that was part of I wanted to really be able to enjoy the Sylvan Lake, and then I'm out watering my flowers, and I'm thinking, I'm not really doing anything any different than I was doing in the last city I lived in. So what is the big change? What is the big difference? And I found myself spinning a little bit. So that's what you may find yourself doing. So I did want to give a little bit of a 3-card spread for the week to get you through. And if you're on my YouTube and you like, please share. If you're seeing this on Facebook, please share my posts, please. Please like, subscribe to my YouTube channels. There is 2. There's this one, plus there is the She Is, which is my podcast. And hit the notification and comment. Like, share, comment, all of those things. The interaction does matter. Without these numbers increasing, because I'm amongst the more censored. I'm amongst the more censored in my work, and that's kind of a piss off, and I'm not gonna lie. And so so it depends on us. Like I said, it's us little people that make the change in the world. It's us little people that will make the change in the world. And it's time for us little people that's the everyday person, by the way, the everyday person, to start to be the change that we want to see in the world. But back to the hump day and to the middle of the days. And so this is where we are in the middle of the week. So we're at that pivotal point of balancing or tipping the scale. And so we have the opportunity to tip the scale to just like something either dump out or just be able to take a leap of faith and jump into a new energy or a new time, or to kind of just let things, like, dump it all out, like all that suppression, all those things that you've been holding in, just like freaking let it all out, let it all go, and just throw caution to the wind, and just trust. And so today here, the wind has finally changed direction, and because the wind changed direction, the sky has finally cleared, and we've had that and the rain and everything else that's been coming with it. And I don't like winters, I don't like rain, I don't like the cold, I don't like anything that comes with when summer leaves. So every time it gets cloudy, I get kind of like, oh God, winter's coming again. Whereas, got to get back in this present moment. There's still a few weeks left, but that's called trauma. And so these winds have changed, and the wind have changed, and we've changed direction. And so we're seeing a change. We're seeing a change in direction. We're seeing a change in thought. I feel like the collective thinking of finally seeing that things are not exactly as we thought they're going to be, and things will not always be coming up roses. Like, it's just not possible. So the imposter O'Malley is the first card that comes out. And so our past situations, where we have been in the past, can be the imposters into our now, into that possibility of a beautiful future. Because if we allow the past versions of ourselves or the past situations to be dictating every single experience in your now, or if you're in that middle of the week and you're already waiting for the doom and the gloom to come on a Friday that maybe happened on a Monday, maybe it's not going to come. Or if you're waiting for a Friday hoping for a better day, but you've done nothing to do the changes in between, it's not going to happen. So the imposter is the past versions of ourselves, the past version of our stories, where we have been, and that if we keep allowing that to have such control, then we're living in an impossible now and the impossible future, because the future will always look like the past. And if you don't want your future to always look like your past, and you're gonna then stay in your stories. But if you want to change, if you want things to be different, you got to be willing to tip the scale. You got to be willing to do something different. You got to be willing to make a change, to do the healing, to take a leap of faith, to do the things that you need to do to bring the change into your lives. And it's up to you. You have to decide that. That is our first card out. And it's funny because it comes into that past card, where we have been in the past. So just because we have previous experience and previous history, like the smell of smoke, it doesn't mean it's real for right now. It doesn't mean I'm in danger. It doesn't mean there's a fire. It just means that I have an experience in a moment that reminds me that I have been there before. But if I was in danger, or if I would know all the things to do, because I have experienced it before. So it's okay to be a little bit afraid of your future, a little bit afraid of the unknown, but to not let fear cripple you. And then our very right now card. This is the imperfectly perfect, and this is Gemma. And my sister-in-law asked me a very good question about this card the other day. She said, are those white lines coming towards us, or is it going away? And my response back was, well, what is it for you? And that's the whole thing about right now, where we are. Nobody can tell you how you should feel, and nobody can tell you what you should do. Like, you can get all the guidance, and I can give everybody all the guidance and all the advice. Nobody can make up your mind for you. You can allow people to control your mind, and you can allow previous situations to control your mind, but it is you who makes up that mind, and you can't wait for the perfect day. It is the same thing as waiting for the perfect friggin' storm. So you're waiting for that perfect moment, or you're waiting for the repeat, or you're waiting for something. If you're waiting for everything to be perfected in order for you to be able to take a leap of faith, in order for you to be able to jump, in order for you to be able to move, in order to be able to make a shift, you're going to be waiting friggin' forever. Stop waiting. And that's the card that's coming out with this. And so the imperfect is that beautiful gem. She holds that gem. And so when you see yourself as your truth, you start to realize how imperfect we are, and how fragmented and how flawed we are. And when you can see that, so it's like, the more I've spent time with me, I've recognized, fuck, I have some lot of flaws. My God, I have a lot of shortcomings. I have a lot of shortcomings. I have a lot of isms that I've worked on, that I recognize, man, do we ever have a lot of little things that we do, a lot of little habits, a lot of little, and you can't repair and fix them all in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. So your whole life is not going to be perfected in a day. You can put on the mask, you can wear the role, you can play the roles, you can do the personas, you can post all the pictures of perfection that you want to post, but it still will not mean that you have, that life is ever going to be perfect. And when you think it is, something will peel that layer off for you. And when it does, you're exposed again. So that vulnerability, that authentic self, that real self is going to kind of be itself. And what I've learned, and the biggest thing I have learned in this time off is, whoa, as the card just flew away, is a sense of humor. To learn to be able to laugh at your shortcomings, and not that you're a joke, or to make a joke of yourself, to look at the things that, and how we're such powerful creators and we don't know it, how we're such con artists to our own stories, how we can manipulate ourselves, how we can play all the roles. We can create a movie, a story, and we could do a whole, like I was just reading something of learning to be a writer, for movies and stuff. And I'm like, fuck, we do that every day. If you look at your lives and you look at your stories and you look at what we do that every day, and then we play every character. And so we're so freaking good at it. And then we can laugh, and when you learn to be able to laugh at some of those things, that's when you know you're raising your vibration. You're saying, I'm accepting me, I'm having compassion for me, and now I know that I can do the work that needs to be done to make the changes that I need to make, because I am ready to not to take myself as serious, but to know that in this is that the places that are very serious will need my attention, and I'm ready to do this. And so it's not, and it's also about not laughing at people's pains, or using humor to mask or hide pains. And I don't do that, because I call out the shortcomings, and that's a big thing. So I'm not an imposter. So the past parts of myself, or where I've been, is not owning my life. I'm saying, look at what you've done to yourself. Look at where you've been. Look at how you've held yourself back. Look at that. Look, another opportunity that you just said to somebody else, here, you take that. Here, you go do that. I'll just wait here in line again. I don't need that. And I just always remember Mom saying this to me. She said, she always had this joke. And she said, when you were in line for ass, I'm just using like bum, ass. When you were in line for that, she said, you just said, no, never mind. I didn't really want one of those. And it's like you weren't listening. And so you got a flat ass. And that's the truth, right? It's like you were in line for these things and you said, oh no, or you weren't paying attention, you didn't hear it properly, or didn't want to hear it. And so you just said, no thanks, give it to somebody else. And that's the things that when you learn to laugh at those places, say, you know what, because missed opportunities in the past, making mistakes in the past, all of those things that you've done in the past, well, you can't fix them by worry and misery and the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Right? It's not going to happen. So use where you have been as an opportunity to start to say, okay, now now let me start taking me a little more serious, and to, let me start taking my work, my life a little more serious, but to be able to find humor in my journey, and to find a reason and a why to smile every day, to find some sort of joy. Joy brings that sense of inner peace that nothing in the material world will ever provide for you, ever. So it's like, don't wait for the material world to provide it. It's not going to happen. It'll give you temporary satisfaction, and we're not here for temporary satisfaction. We're here to exist within the joy. So our final card is peaceful perspective, as my dog is like hot. And so this is peaceful perspective, and I gotta move for her, and that's Sydney. And so peaceful perspective is this beautiful card. This is Paisley, and it's like making peace with where you have been, and by doing that is you can hold on to things of the past and not know that you are Sid. You can hold on to those things, and and then try to tell everyone you're not, but you are, and it comes out in attitude. So when you're not showing the truth, when you're hiding your cards, when you're hiding the hand, when you're hiding those pieces of you, and you think, oh, I can hide that, I can mask that. No, you're not, because it comes out in attitude. It always will. It'll come out in attitude. It'll come out in our shortcomings. It comes out in the parts of us that that we perceive as flawed, or the world perceives as flawed, and it's not. It's the fact that we just cannot let go, and we cannot let ourselves surrender, and we're still trying to hold on to control. When we fully let it go, we release it, we surrender it. And by surrendering, it means you're coming into you and you're saying, I need to make peace with everywhere that I've been, because I am worthy and deserving of the beautiful life. And that is your message as we're coming into the full moon. And I'm worthy to start to discover and to start to explore and to become, become someone who wants to become like the space cadet for my world. I'm going to put on my space helmet. I'm going to get in my rocket, and I'm going to take off, and I'm going to just let my imagination just explode and just go to places, astral travel, in dreams, lucid dreams, and just being able to just like set yourself free, meditation, and see what is possible and where you can go. And we're just validating that with smoke and mirrors. It's funny, I was just talking about smoke, and Lisa is waiting for me to send a picture, because my blog is all about the mirror reflection, and it's the reflection of the now beyond more than existing, beyond where we have been. So the smoke and mirrors is, it's that whole truth that you're hiding, and this is Mara, and she's the smoke and mirrors, and don't hide your heart. Don't hide your heart from your own self by continuing to live in the imagination, in the stories that you keep telling yourself of the past that have a hold, that entrap you, that keep you from living your life. It is time to start to explore, to start to find your way. And the wind has changed. There's a change in the wind. There's a change in direction, and the sky is blue, and it is clear, and that is our lives. Everything is temporary, and even if it's cloudy, if it's smoky, if it's stormy today, tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is a new day, and each and every tomorrow will be a new day. Every single moment of right here, right now is what you have. And those moments, there's a lot of those in a run of a day. You don't waste them. Don't spend your time in that past story that doesn't exist anymore, and get to right here, right now. And that is our message for today. Much, much love. Have a beautiful midweek in I think this is the 21st, somewhere around there of July. I don't even know. Time is going by so fast. So please like, subscribe, and keep, believing in the faith and holding on to that. But also, if you're on Facebook, you can see there's an event page. If you go to my website, I think you can probably see it too. Emails have been sent out if you're on my email list. If not, get on my email list. And so on Sunday, I think it's at 5 p.m. I am doing a 1-hour webinar, and I'm speaking of the journey into more than existing. I'm speaking of the dark night of the soul journey, that spiritual crises that we step into, that we sometimes get into. And I'm telling, speaking some of my deepest truths of how I ended up where I was, what my choice, my decision, how from our lowest moments can be our most defining moments, and rising up. And we can walk around with our rose-colored glasses on as much as we want, but sometimes those glasses have to come off, and I am wearing my rose-colored glasses today. And so those rose-colored glasses are beautiful. We can see the world beautifully, but sometimes there's many things that we can't hide and we can't disguise, and it's time to make the changes that we need to make. And and that's my message for you today. So much love. See you soon. Get into my webinar. It is Sunday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Go to Facebook, and you can go to the events on Corey Thorne, the spiritual healer, and it'll be right there. Thank you. Bye-bye.